Kuna. Hello, kana jina?
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. 1 2. Try. Check. Try 1 2. Check 1 2.
You can open. Don't holla. Hello? No, she can't. Zawaja, you can do the opening.
Hello. Hello, good morning. Wherever you are getting us, this is Adamawa State Television Corporation, Yola, the station for the people. We are now once again live at the Banquet Hall, Government House, Yola, where we are going to show you happenings here on the public lecture, tag anniversary public lecture with the topic Quintessence of Politics, to mark the 50th year anniversary of Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri on the saddle of leadership of Adamawa State. Stay tuned to Adamawa State Television Corporation for live coverage here at the Banquet Hall, Government House, Yola. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you tell us your name and your portfolio?
My name is Aloysius Augustine Babadoke, Honorable Commissioner of Culture and Tourism.
You are here to witness the public lecture being organized by the Adamawa State government as part of activities to mark the 50th anniversary of Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri. What do you make of this public lecture?
Yeah, thank you very much. What made up of this public lecture is the encouragement of this government to celebrate the 50th year. And also some of us, we are celebrating the 50th year together with His Excellency, and others are celebrating 1 year. When they said anniversary, it's a tint of joy, it's a tint of celebration. That's why all of us, we gather here to celebrate together with His Excellency and the entire government of Adamawa State. And we are happy being part of this government, and we'll be supporting His Excellency, and we pray for all the people of Adamawa State to support His Excellency on his activity and activities that he's doing in Adamawa State as mass governor.
Now, despite the fact that the governor has been doing well in terms of urban renewal, agriculture, education, name it, still critics are still not supporting him.
Yeah, that one is there in them. But we, the people of Adamawa State, we know that the governor is up and doing. We know that there's a development in infrastructure, in health, in culture, in water resources, in everywhere in Adamawa State. He has touching the life of the people of Adamawa State. The good people of Adamawa State knows the reality of the celebration we are doing today.
Okay, what is your call to the masses?
My call is support. They should support His Excellency on what he's doing today in Adamawa State. And we need prayers too to get him, to make him agile to work for our people here in Adamawa State, most especially youth. Like I'm standing here, I'm part of youth in Adamawa State. Most of the commissioners are youth, and we need their support, and we need their prayers too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yola.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
May we know your name and your position?
My name is Atanko Ayuba Audu, Commissioner of Water Resources, Adamawa State.
You are here to witness the public lecture being organized by the Adamawa State government to celebrate Fintiri at 5th. What do you make of it?
Okay, as you are aware, tomorrow will be the 5th year of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, being the Governor of Adamawa State. So we are here to celebrate him and also to celebrate the state for the giant strike and all the development that he brings to the state. You can see there is a lot of development in the state. You will think here Adamawa State now is like Abuja or London because of the strike that His Excellency and the project that he have done for the people of Adamawa State.
A lot of people don't see the good things the governor is doing. How will you advise them?
Actually, the project that His Excellency is doing for the state is a project that you will touch and you will hear it. It is not a hidden project. All the project that he's doing is a fiscal project, from the health to the roads to the schools, also water sector, etc., etc.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning. May we know your name and position?
Morning, how are you? I am Joe Apagai Sama, Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Land and Survey.
You are here to attend the public lecture. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it is very deserving. The anniversary public lecture is in honor of His Excellency, Right Honorable Ahmadu Omar Fintiri, for the 5 years tenuureship in the state. So it is in order, because he has done some monumental achievements that deserve the public to acknowledge. Wow! In the rural infrastructure, the roads are there. Urban renewal, you have seen all the roads, you have seen all the flyovers. In the agri sector, everything, there's no aspect of the economic sector that he has not touched. When you go to education, we have the free WAEC and NECO fees. You have all the renovation of all the classes. You have promotions of teachers. You have so many things that there's nothing, no aspect that he has not touched. Because his philosophy is everything should be touched and everything should be carried along. So because of this, I raise my finger, my thumbs up for him.
What is your call to the people of Adamawa State?
My call to the people of Adamawa State is to continue to pray for him so that he have sound health to continue the strides of development he has brought to the state. And my call to the public again is to give this government the desired support so that it will continue to deliver the dividends of democracy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
As they make their entrance, of course, the Hamabata, the Amnashalang, the Konde Nongrea, the Murumbula are already with us and we honor them. Let me equally announce the gracious presence of the Gangwari, who is also with us. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, we welcome you, Ma. Thank you, and thank you so very much indeed as we get to settle, because any moment from now, His Excellency, the Governor, will be joining with us. Let me also announce the gracious presence of the former Governor of Adamawa State, former Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, His Excellency Bala James Gillary, who is with us. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. With your kind permission, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I please ask that we rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And now, Your Excellency, with your kind permission, it is with profound honor that I welcome for the opening prayers the Honorable Commissioner, Local Government Affairs, Honorable Ibrahim Mijinyawa Yayaji, to please kindly join me on stage. Let me also ask the Honorable Commissioner, Health and Human Capital Development, Honorable Felix B. Tangomi, to also join for the Christian prayers. Thank you very much.
صلوا على النبي الكريم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وآفنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Let us pray. In Jesus' name, our Lord and our God, we want to thank you for giving us this day to look back to how we have fared in this journey. We thank you for the grace given unto us to see this day. We thank you for how you have led this administration for the past 5 years. We thank you for what we are able to do and what we have not been able to do. We pray, O God, that you take lead in this program to the end. We pray for the governor, the deputy governor, and all those in position, that you grant us the grace to do that which is right before you, so that you will be happy with us, so that our land will be blessed. We ask you, O God, to be with those that will be bringing lectures at this program, that you grant them the wisdom to do justice for that which they have been invited for. We ask that you take charge of this program from the beginning to the end, that at the end also, just as you brought us here safe by your grace, that you lead each and every one of us back home safely. This we ask in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioners, Honorable Ibrahim Mijin Yaji, and Honorable Felix B. Tangomi, for the opening prayers. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, the People's Governor, the ATM Governor, the man we call the Fresh Air Governor, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, CON, who is right now unavoidably absent and could not join us due to other pressing matters, but is rightly represented by Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Professor Kaleta Pwa G. Farauta. Please put your hands together for Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor. The Honorable Speaker, Adamawa State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Batia Wesley, the Chairman of this great and auspicious occasion, elder statesman, a general of generals, a man who has served this nation meritoriously and continues to serve as a matter of fact. General Haldu Anthony Hanania. Please put your hands together for him. Your Excellency, the former Deputy Governor, former Governor of Adamawa State, His Excellency Barrister Bala James Ngilari. Please put your hands together for him. The guest speaker of this year's anniversary public lecture, the Vice Chancellor, Modibo Adama University, Professor Abdullahi Liman Tukur. Please put your hands together for him. Distinguished Senator Amos Johanna, representing the good people of Adamawa North Senatorial, other distinguished members of the National Assembly, members of the House of Representatives here present, honorable commissioners, members of the Adamawa State Executive Council, honorable members, Adamawa State House of Assembly here present, the Chief of Staff to the Government of Adamawa State, Dr. Edgar Sunday Amos, other distinguished erudite invited guests, of particular mention, Engineer Dr. Sule Yakubu Basi, the Secretary, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Executive Chairman, Executive Secretaries of boards and commissions, special advisors to His Excellency the Governor of Adamawa State, Principal Special Assistants to His Excellency the Governor, Senior Special Assistants. And now let me specially acknowledge their Royal Highnesses, the Royal Fathers of our land, the Hamabata, the Gawari, the Amna, the Kwandi, the Murum, and the Hamabachama, in that order as they sat. Let me also honor the immediate past Secretary to the State Government of Adamawa State, Malam Bashiru Ahmad, other distinguished invited guests, and standing particularly also officers and executive members of our great party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, ably represented by the Secretary of the party, of course the Deputy State Chairman of the party, and other members of the Working Committee of the party. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you into the banquet hall of the Government House, Yola, today, the 28th day of May 2024, as we celebrate the 5th anniversary with an anniversary public lecture that is themed or titled The Quintessence of Politics. And that not too long from now, we will get to hear from the horse's mouth, as it will be presented to us by no other but a man who is well suited and able to deliver that lecture. I welcome you very specially. We are live on national television. We're live on Channels Television today. We are equally live on our own home television, the Adamawa Television Corporation, and other so many media handles that are covering today's event live. It is now with profound honor that I invite for the welcome address. Welcome address was supposed to be delivered by the Secretary to the State Government of Adamawa State, who also is unavoidably absent with us today. I am sure we all know the reason why His Excellency and the SSG could not join us today. But to come stand in place of the SSG is the man who should know better. And therefore, help me as I welcome the Chief of Staff, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Edgar Amos Sunday, for the welcome address.
For reasons of time and the fact that the MC has elaborately laid out the protocol list, permit me to just say, Your Excellencies, distinguished and honorable members, Your Royal Highnesses, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. And like he also said, the Secretary to the State Government who would have presented this welcome address is, as we speak, accompanying His Excellency to the airport, who has to be in Abuja for a very important state assignment. On behalf of His Excellency the Governor and the government of Adamawa State, I wish to sincerely welcome you to this historic public lecture. We're supposed to be a democracy of decades, but sometimes people begin to ask, what is politics all about. In Africa, in parts of Africa, some people even organize military takeovers. But the question simply is, what is it all about? And that is why we think that in celebrating our return to participatory democracy, we should be able to create a forum where we'll come and reflect on the essence of politics and democracy in particular. And with some bias, I would want to think that we have a leader today who epitomizes what essentially should be politics about, and that is service. Service to the people, uplifting their welfare and living standards. And on this note, I wish to sincerely thank you very much for creating time from your very busy schedules to grace this occasion. I want to especially thank the chairman of the occasion. Despite his age and what age constraints associated with it, he still made time to come. Your Excellency, you're welcome. I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank the guest speaker for creating time, again from his busy schedules, to script something that will give us food for thought for this occasion. And on this note, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you and to wish us fruitful deliberations. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, the Chief of Staff, for the welcome address. Let me apologize and sincerely welcome the Head of Service, Adamawa State, Pharmacist Shehu Isardo, MNI. Sir, sorry for that slight jump in the protocol. It was until I moved back, then I noticed your presence. I apologize. And now, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, the next person to mount this stage is a man who is a household name already, not only in Adamawa State, but in Nigeria. He attended the Gindri Boys Secondary School, Gindri, and thereafter joined the Nigerian Army after taking the requisite examination and passing meritoriously. He held various and very far-reaching positions through the rank and file of the Nigerian Army. And he was the commander and inspector of the Army Engineers Corps. He was pioneer student of the National Institute, Kuru Jos. He was the former Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, and at the same time the president of the African subgroup of the International Road Safety Organization. He was defense advisor to the Nigerian High Commission in the United Kingdom, and later was ambassador of the Federal Republic to the High Commission. He's an author and has authored the book, All Eyes on Me. An erudite and distinguished Nigerian, a humble one for that matter, a father in the land, a man who has served this country and deserves all the accolades that can be showered on him. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me as I now make welcome to the stage the chairman of today's occasion, His Excellency General Haldu Anthony Hanania MNI, retired. Please put your hands together for him.
Please sit down. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the existing protocol for lack of time. This journey started about 10 months ago, 10 years ago, when Fintri was appointed the acting governor of Adamawa State. During that period, he did so many wonderful things, and people began to ask, what is happening? He embarked on projects. Today, the projects littered all over Gongolos and Adamawa State. I was privileged to watch on television about 10 days ago where they converged at Bauchi, and his colleague, the governor of Bauchi State, described our governor as a project governor. When the vice president got up to speak, he concurred, but said, Fintri is from Borno State, but he claimed to be from Adamawa. So when good things happen, it's another state, not Adamawa State. So today, I am very privileged and greatly honored to be the chairman at this occasion. I don't deserve it, but I thank the administration for thinking it wise that I should chair this occasion. It is my hope that as we listen to the lecture, we'll be able to go with something. But I know the guest lecture, 10 years ago, he was part of the kitchen cabinet, and he knows exactly what took place. Today, he is going to give us a short story about what transpired during that period. It was after that he was reassigned to Modibo Adamawa University as the Vice Chancellor. So please, I want you to listen and digest what he's going to tell us. At the end, I believe we are going to be better for it. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you as the chairman of this occasion and to say that this is a great occasion where all of us are expected as children, daughters, and sons of Adamawa State. We should hold our heads high because of the achievement of the administration we are going to witness this morning. I hope and pray that God will continue to help the administration, and especially the one on the saddle, to ensure that he completes his assignment faithfully and to the glory of God Almighty. Thank you, and I wish you all the best. Listen and digest. Thank you very much.
May I very respectfully thank you, sir, the chairman of this occasion, for your charge and your prayers and your blessings upon this administration. Thank you, sir. May you live long. In a few minutes, we will be watching a documentary of the most notable and visible achievements of this administration in the last 5 years. Please sit back and enjoy, in a few minutes, this documentary before us. Thank you.
dissected by river valleys of Benue, Gongola, Yetzram, and several rivulets. This is Adamawa State, the land of beauty. Inhabiting this land is a population of vibrant and energetic people who daily struggle with the elements and yearn to harness the abundant natural resources that the area is gifted with for development. Since its creation in 1991, Adamawa State has been governed by both military and civilian administrations with varying degrees of successes. But as fate will have it, a new and indelible chapter in the efforts to develop and transform the state was opened on May 29, 2019, with the swearing in of Amadou Umaru Fintri, a focused, purposeful, visionary, and charismatic leader.
I, Right Honorable Umaru Ahmad Fintri,
since assuming office on May 29, 2019, Governor Amadou Umaru Fintri has made it his mantra that there must be a difference in governance. First, he ran with an 11-point agenda. Due to the enormity of work at the time, he took over the reins of governance. The highly calculated governor has been very deliberate about getting the best for the state, and this has indeed changed narratives from May 2019 to date. The transformation, which has been replicated all over the state, followed Governor Fintri's promise to ensure no one is left behind and nothing is left untouched. Shortly after, the entire state became one huge construction site, with mixers, excavators, and caterpillars all over the place as the contractors tried to meet deadlines. Adamawa's biggest city, Yola, began to look truly cosmopolitan as the first flyover in the northeast Nigeria was inaugurated, and just months later, a second flyover was concluded, all in his first 2 years in office. Fintri says Adamawa's poverty is really the stimulus to creative thinking and the architecture of its potential greatness and riches being driven by his government. For the records, Adamawa State over the years has been largely civil service driven and still is. However, the new thinking of the administration is to ensure value reorientation in almost all sectors and encourage a private sector driven economy. Internally generated revenue is one area where government has been pragmatic. At the time Amadou Umaru Fintri assumed office as governor, internally generated revenue of the state was a little over 2 billion naira, a scenario best described as poor. But within months, the governor's policies witnessed significant changes. While Adamawa's current monthly IGR figures are a far cry from those posted by Nigeria's oil-rich states, Adamawa's IGR growth rate is improving and ranking quite favorably well among her peers across the country. This is one area the state has continued to improve under Governor Fintri's leadership. Working from the place of knowledge that a huge percentage of the people are poor, government decided to focus not just on agriculture, which is the mainstay of its economy, but also on wealth creation through its economic empowerment program, championed by the Poverty Alleviation and Wealth Creation Agency in collaboration with the Ministry of Entrepreneurship. The state is also working towards developing a technology-based industry and also improving security reliability in the state. This governor seems almost in a hurry to develop the state, as he is currently remodeling the Jamaica shopping complex. This particular move is another testament to his yearnings to quickly reposition the complex, which has a market, which is a key player in the sale, repairs, and maintenance service for a wide range of gadgets in information communication technology and, by extension, the state's tech drive. The government's Grand ICT Plan, which, when fully implemented, will ensure ICT-based companies can operate in the state and engage in training and knowledge conversion, which will greatly benefit the people. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri believes there is nothing that says poverty is destined. Hence, he moves and works with the intention of purposeful results. How exactly is he able to work with a multifaceted approach? Well, his approach is part of the strategy that is grinding out results. Some of his key targets include peace and security. It is widely said that the primary responsibility of government is the provision of security. This is one area where the governor has continued to record great strides. Governor Ahmadu Fintri's government was deliberate in addressing the needs of areas ravaged by insurgency with laudable post-war programs. These post-insurgency programs and projects facilitated the quick healing of the war scars, such that government restored basic infrastructure and local economies of affected communities largely returned to their peaceful and productive pre-insurgency status. Areas like Madagali, Michigan, and Mubi all witnessed large-scale infrastructure restoration, which paved way for the massive return of those who left in the wake of the Boko Haram occupation. The state government also engaged in a quick rehabilitation of agricultural lands, places of worship, health centers, bridges, and schools, including the creation of productive employment for the teeming unemployed citizens, especially young people and women. Fintri's development, as captured in his New Age Point agenda, covers both urban and rural renewal. This has set the security architecture for the state. In the most urban area like Yola, the governor continues to work hard to ensure that the Sheila Boys threat is totally neutralized. At the very highest level, the governor demonstrated his policy of inclusivity. Having run his first term with his deputy, Chief Crowder said, when the time came to run for a second term, he told the bold path of women inclusion. This is in spite of the risk, as he named a female candidate as his running mate. In the end, he won the 2023 elections, and his choice of a running mate, an accomplished academic and former Vice Chancellor of the State University, Professor Kaleita George Farauta, has been a masterstroke. Together, they are driving the state to new realms. The governor's appointments, policies, and programs all reflect his ideology of inclusion.
Adamawa State is a state that is so endowed with human capital. But for one reason or the other, particularly trivial issues, religion and tribe, dominated appointments, dominated performance, and there was so much rumblings. No unity, there was insecurity. But this gentleman came with the idea, came with one mind, and made good appointments, and came out with a lot of policies that today Adamawa is, to me, is the most developed state in the entire northeastern states.
And in the area of social justice, he is unequaled, where every citizen of Adamawa State have come to have a sense of belonging. Nobody can cry today to say he or she is marginalized, and no group can say his or her group has been marginalized. He has succeeded to bring Adamawa State together into one big family.
Education is one area where the governor's massive investment has paid off. From ranking first in northern Nigeria and second nationally in the NECO exams to the free education program, the state has become an example for others to follow. Even at tertiary level, the government pays for several of our indigents who are on scholarships outside Nigeria. Indeed, education is key to his administration.
Governor Fintri came and further uplifted, the educational performance to a much higher level than he met it. And as such, we now have Adama students virtually, fulfilling the spaces in the state university, in the federal university, and some of them who have come from well-to-do parents even gaining admissions into, like the American University of Nigeria. So I think he has done very, very well as far as education is concerned, and I hope he will continue to do much better than he has done until the end of his administration.
Since he came on board, for instance, in the area of general education, he has recruited more than 2,000 teachers, built many schools, equipped them with the necessary things that will make them functional, provided for the teachers that will make teaching and learning for the students meaningful.
Through the government's massive investment in the health sector, Adamawa is among the top 5 states in Nigeria in new enrollments for child spacing. This is not a surprise, as Adamawa is committed to contributing its quota in changing Nigeria's negative ranking as the country with the highest maternal mortality rate worldwide and about 20% of the global total. The State Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the state's implementing partners are working assiduously on child spacing campaign to reverse this trend. Massive upgrades have been carried out for cottage hospitals, primary healthcare centers, hospitals, and tertiary health facilities to meet current needs.
And when you look at the health sector, it is only during his regime that the entire 21 local government have what they call medical center in the local government, and the entire 236 wards has a clinics that are operational 24/7. So this is the first time in the state, and that's why anywhere I go, I always boast of saying that in my state, no ward that is left without a clinic that operates for 24/7.
Urban and rural infrastructure, especially roads, electricity, housing, and water, are also being given priority.
He is addressing education. He is addressing infrastructure. These are important issues which nobody will ever forget. Somebody told me they've never seen the kind of infrastructure in Yola. I've not been able to get there yet. But I understand the infrastructure in Yola was something to come and see.
He happens to be a young man who has vision and who has passion for his state to develop. Politically, he has tried very well, and administratively, he has done very well. He has done quite a lot in the area of both capital and human development in Adamawa State, which we all witness. I'm not the only one. Every Adamawa State citizen know that Fintri has done quite a lot in the area, especially in the area of infrastructure.
Governor Ahmadu Fintri has surprised many people, some especially with the elder statesmen, and by coming up, focusing on the actual needs of development of Adamawa State. He started by, first of all, looking at the infrastructure, because without infrastructure, no meaningful economic development will take place. And he has taken this straight, and he has now transformed Adamawa into a state where the infrastructure is no longer a problem.
Adamawa State is very, very lucky to have Alhaji Ahmadu Umar Fintri as the governor of Adamawa State in the course of the last 5 years, because everybody can see the development strides he has brought to bear in the affairs of Adamawa State: infrastructure, human capital development, health. You know, every sector of our society has been touched by him.
In his first term, the governor embarked on key road projects. These include the 25-kilometer Baza Road in Michigan, the Michigan Township Road, the 8.8-kilometer Samsri Road in Ganye. Others include Hong Township Roads, Jada Township Roads, Newman Township Roads, Bullock Township Roads, while much more road projects are scattered around the state, even the capital city, Yola, getting several new roads.
So there is no local government that he has not been able to undertake or implement some infrastructural development. And that opens up, rural areas and promotes, commerce and the rest.
I went, not just about the overhead bridge or this or that. I went, I saw. I was so impressed. I was so impressed. How much money? They haven't governors there. What did they do? Did the money come to the assuring there's any money? Is it to reckon? But the man said, look, I want the development from the Adamawa State. I'm so impressed with what I have seen. And those are the kind of people we will want to associate to be part of the development of this country.
We can continue to look like a bush capital. Let's have modernity. Let's encourage meaningful development, that if people come to what is our capital, they'll say, it's beautiful. To the extent that if you go to other places, you will not say, how I wish we have this in Adamawa. Let it be that you will say, this is not like what we have. I like that. And he has demonstrated that very well. I congratulate him very much for that, regardless of what people say.
Governor Fintri has done wonderfully well, simply because the continuation, this is where some governors are having problems. Whenever they take over, they don't tend to see the importance of continuing whatever the past administration has been doing. One of the reasons why I respect Governor Fintri is because almost all what I have started that I could not complete, Fintri has completed it.
The state's economy is predicated on increased transformation of the agricultural value chain through large-scale agricultural production and agro-based industrial production. The state government's agricultural policy targets empowering farmers through agric financing, provision of farm inputs such as fertilizer and improved seeds and implements. Because of the importance of civil servants in the implementation of government policies, the Fintri administration has been labor-friendly. Adamawa State government set the tone with its payment of a minimum wage higher than what the federal government said. Adamawa pays 32,000 naira. This figure is 2,000 naira higher than that of the federal government, a policy demonstrating the state government's commitment to its people. Also in the wake of the petrol subsidy removal, the state government implemented a shock-absorbing program for its workforce, awarding wages. It also extended the same gesture to core members deployed to Adamawa State, who have also been benefiting from a monthly 10,000 naira wage award as part of its palliative. In the transport sector, 10 luxurious buses were purchased and deployed to various routes, and this has brought a lot of relief as the cost of transportation has skyrocketed. A recent fire incident damaged the Yola market in April 2024. But rather than blame predecessors for not providing a befitting market, since the same market had been burned in times past, Governor Fintri took a bad situation and is creating a story out of it. The Yola market is now on the radar. It is being remodeled with right facilities that are not easily burned. Tree planting campaigns are part of the governor's deliberate move to maintain the required ecological balance. Furthermore, the state also banned felling of trees or use of charcoal. This is one deliberate policy at protecting the environment and our climate. The passage of the Media Workers Bill in Adamawa State is a testament to the state's commitment to the welfare of its journalists. This bill also improves greatly the pay for the media workers. Additionally, the state also partners several media outfits by way of retainership, forging a strong synergy with the fourth estate of the realm. Government also constructively engages the media in publicizing its activities. While it is agreed that separation of powers is key in a democracy, intentional development requires a great deal of synergy. Adamawa executive arm enjoys good working relations with the legislature as well as the judiciary. The Fintri phenomenon, as some analysts describe it, has come as a redemption for the people of Adamawa State.
It is for the interest of the people of Adamawa, of all the ethnic communities, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you don't even believe in a religion, to come together for the interest of all of you to make Adamawa a great state. And I can tell you, that's where he's heading to.
The exceptional developmental strides, strategies, and project execution are still unfolding. Just as work on other landmark projects are going on, the unrelenting governor has flagged up the construction of a 7-span overhead bridge along Yola A.A. Lowell Junction and half Cloverleaf interchange at Yola Numan Road. Still not done, as no sector will be left out. The sports-loving governor has similarly flagged up the reconstruction of the Adamawa State International Sports Complex along Numan Road. The project, which had been neglected by various administrations, is being revived by the Fintri administration due to its significance to youth development and other socio-economic benefits. As many prominent citizens of Adamawa State and even non-indigents have continued to say, the era of the Fintri administration is not only awe-inspiring, but will remain indelible in the history of the state. It therefore behoves on all people of goodwill to support it and play their part individually and collectively to get to the promised land.
Documentary is a testament of this administration's slogan that says no one will be left out and nothing will be left untouched. It is not a cliche, it is a statement of fact. Your Excellencies, our elder statesmen here, illustrious sons and daughters of our dear state, Adamawa State. Thank you for staying with us thus far. Moving on in the course of this program this morning, I'd like to invite a man who is responsible for the strategies and communication of the media of this administration. But today, he will be here to give a citation of the guest speaker. Please welcome the Chief Press Secretary to the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, Mr. Humwashi Wonosiko.
All right, I was going to say while Mr. Humwashi Wonosiko is coming, but he's here already. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, Professor Kalaitapwa Farauta George, the Speaker of the Adamawa State House of Assembly, distinguished senators, the chairman of the occasion, General Haldu Hanania, the former governor of Adamawa State, His Excellency Balajem Singlari, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Professor Abdullahi Liman Tukur is a man that does not need any introduction in Adamawa State. Professor Liman Tukur is a household name in Adamawa State. Professor Liman Tukur is a geographer, an environmentalist, an astute university administrator. In his life, Professor Liman Tukur has taught at the then Federal University of Technology and now Modibo Adama University of Technology. It was actually during his tenure that the name changed from Federal University of Technology to Modibo Adama University. I thought we would give him a round of applause for that. Because of Professor Liman Tukur's understanding of environmental issues and the understanding of the man, His Excellency Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, the organizers of this forum decided that he should actually be the one to present the lecture today. And our lecture today has the topic, Quintessence of Politics. Like I said, the choice of Professor Liman Tukur is deliberate. Deliberate in the fact that he's somebody who knows Adamawa very well. It's somebody who has been close to His Excellency over the years. And therefore, with joy in my heart this morning, I want to invite to the microphone to do justice to our lecture this morning, Quintessence of Politics, the one and only Vice Chancellor of the Modibo Adama University, Professor Abdullahi Liman Tukur.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, my sister, Professor Kaleta Puafrota George, Deputy Governor of Adamawa State. By his side, and my friend, the Speaker of the State Assembly, and on the other, the distinguished chairman of this occasion. In academics, we are not so good with the protocol. We are more used to colleagues and friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Chief of Staff, some 15 days ago, boxed me into this role, the role that has just been so well played by the documentary that we have watched. I think the lecture has been delivered. But then, while here, the Chief of Staff, I think, alluded to the fact that I will be here to give food for thought, while the chairman of the occasion said that we should all listen and digest. And I think that is the only thing I can do to challenge us. But perhaps one or two operational definitions. This very difficult word was given to me by the Chief of Staff himself. You know, most words starting with Q are generally very difficult. That is how it is pronounced. So maybe I may avoid it throughout my lecture. But I gave a rider to it, strides of a quintessential politician. In essence, quintessence means essence. An example of, exemplifier, a paragon of, best form of example. Whatever it is, this morning we are here to understand what politics is all about and what is it in the context of Adamawa State. So I will take a little time to say that we should be doing this. To give a brief introduction, why do we have to celebrate milestones in government? Is it all important, and to whom? And then we should look at the political space. Politics do not take place in a vacuum. At any point in time, within any given historical context, dictated by the circumstances of the moment, politics do take place within some limited boundaries. And then the old big word and politics, and then the imperative of governance as we have it in Adamawa State or are having it. And then to raise some fundamental ethical concerns and also talk on some issues that are on the fringes of everything else, of celebrations, of political space, of quintessence of politics, governance and ethics. And then perhaps also give some few concluding thoughts on all that we might have. I think the distance is rather too far. We celebrate milestones because we have to. It is important that we look at it as a way of, motivating and boosting our morale. We are all stakeholders. We are at different spectrum. We are at different levels in operating the political space. Such celebrations bring us together, and we might be able to build positive network and then entrench a culture of complementarity, increase our stakeholder engagement, such as this forum, and then enhance team spirit. So what we are saying is that, my pointer is not seen it. It is a powerful way to recognize achievements, motivate individuals and teams, and foster positive, productive work. So how do we celebrate? You can recognize some individuals, outstanding performers, organize conferences, workshops, and indeed, a forum like this one is very important. But we met, somebody is running faster than me, that the political space is important. The spatial dimension, is it global? Are you talking about the United Nations, about the EU, or the African Union? The issues are different. Are you talking about the ECOWAS? And of course, somebody talked about coups and counter-coups and what is happening within the ECOWAS. How is it going to affect us? You see, there is a very big temporal dimension to everything. And as rightly pointed out, I think it was by Amilcar Cabral, that every generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. Within this particular epoch, the Fintry era, we are going to take a very brief sojourn into it to see what it is all about. And then every space is characterized by certain cultural dimensions and norms. And it is never static. And that is why we always refer to it as spatio-temporal dynamics. They change over space and over time. All human beings and groups are located in a particular space, in a particular time, and within a given cultural setting. Understanding this is very important to understanding politics in its entirety, why people perform in a certain way, and why they fail to perform. The ABC, unfortunately, my pointers seem not to be working very well. The first one is Adamawa in the 19th century. If we can delineate the boundaries very well, substantially, what used to be Adamawa then is presently outside Nigeria. And at that time, the regimes of the days, the practices as of that time are completely different from what we have it. And then if you look at Adamawa province under the colonial rule, the different provinces are there for us to see. And I try to skip northern Nigeria completely to give us the northeast, except for the old brigade here. Many of our age bracket that are relevant here might even not remember northern Nigeria, but perhaps some may remember northeast. During the northeast era, those that were calling the shots were different, limited, but the cohesion, the understanding, and perhaps the interpersonal relationships, perhaps were much better, but they ought to be much better now. And then you have Adamawa State under Gongola. Again, the actors have changed dramatically since the carving out of Taraba State. Now and the future, that is where I want us to focus and understand this very well. Adamawa State has a very long red line international boundary of over 500 kilometers, separating us with Cameroon. Along that axis, from the Jangani Mountains through Wudu, Vimtim, to the extreme northern part, they are all very difficult terrain. Coupled to that is the river Benue that bisects Adamawa into almost two equal halves. On the southern side, you have Faros paddling along the border, the river Ine, the river Belwa, and then you get down there. On the northern flank, the Kilange, the Gongola, providing a highly punctuated terrain that is very difficult for everything, but also very picturesque and very beautiful. It is under this same environment that you have over 500 million inhabitants distributed varyingly over this landscape, close to 100 ethnic groups. And if you want to move from the northern tip of Madagali to the southernmost part of Tongo, it's over 400 kilometers. From the easternmost side of Fufore to the westernmost point of Lamure local government, you have over 160 kilometers. 21 local governments, 226 wards. You have 8 first-class rulers. But very interestingly, we have a number of them here. 2 of them are sharing one local government. 2 are having one local government each. 1 is having 2 local governments. Another is having 3. Another one is having 5. Another is having 7. So what is the big deal in space and in authority? Are they anywhere different in class? They are not. Are their territorial boundaries going to be static forever? I don't know. Is that how it has been over the years? Definitely not. These are the food of thoughts. Somebody said I should give you food for thought. So, this big landscape of Adamawa, depending on your source, it starts from 36,000 square kilometers to 39 point something, depending on your source. And over this massive landscape, Tongo local government alone is the largest, the southernmost part. It's definitely more than Lagos in landmass, definitely more than Imo, more than Anambra State. Fufore is our second largest local government. It is highly punctuated, bisected by River Benue, by Kilange, by River Ine, very, very difficult, large, shape, just like this. You see, your existential realities pricks your imagination and give you the vision. Over these very difficult areas, how do you overcome the friction of distance? How many urban areas are there? How many male, how many female? What is the pyramid like? What is the base? How many percent are supposed to be in primary school, in secondary school, and then the tertiary institutions? It's very important you understand the context, because politics is about justice, it's about fairness, it's about representation. But my childhood friend and confidante, Right Honorable Mamerino Abasi, he is representing Mayo Balwa Jada Ganye Tongo. Within this space of, the space, we have 6 members in the State Assembly. The former Secretary to Government, Honorable Kobi Sari, is having 2 local governments with 2 members. So also my friend, Yampa, in the far north there. The high density urban area, the greater Yola, Yola North, Yola South, and Gire, they also have just 3 members with 1 member at the National Assembly. We have seen Honorable Binos, distinguished Senator Binos here, with 9 local governments, most difficult 9 local governments, more than several states. Where does he start? How much of resources is he having over and above my friend, the Reverend Pastor, up there in the north, with just 5 small local governments? No, let's be objective about it. You see, Jada has 2 representatives in the House of Assembly. So also Hong. And in what way is Hong different from Song? Demsa, that is having 2 first-class chiefs, is having 1 member. How do they manage? So let us have this at the back of our minds as we examine our state. All of this conglomeration is under 1 man that is always smiling. And that is one of his greatest undoing, because most of the bullets targeted at him is because he's always smiling. You criticize, you abuse, you insult him, the next day you see him dancing and smiling. So what's the problem? And it is a government affair. We'll see them. Madam is laughing, Speaker is laughing, the Chief of Staff is laughing, the former Chief is also smiling there. So this is a government that is so contented, so you are inviting a lot of trouble for yourselves. I'm not saying you frown. What is it about that difficult word that was given to me by the chief himself? The essence of politics. Politics is about security and political stability. It has been well emphasized by our elder statesmen that were interviewed in that documentary. The essence of governance and of politics itself is about security and political stability. And indeed, after first 4 years of Fintri, I thought we had done away with primordial sentiments and emotions and comments. Unfortunately, the 2023 elections prove otherwise. As we go to the end of the little talk I will be giving here, let's see how we can galvanize ourselves into a united front that is against all this, so that we achieve stability in a way that can bring about economic development. The essence of politics is to change our life for the better. So many people have argued that the worst political regime is better than the best military, which I completely disagreed with, not because Elder Statesman is seated here and I was close to him, but we should do all it takes to make politics responsible. Social welfare and inequality. If politics cannot redress inequality and bring about social well-being, then it is not politics at all. What is most difficult is democratization and political participation. Ideally, a state that is into 226 wards. If we take the feet in a funnel form, from the smallest to the open space, we definitely will have political dialogue, political participation. Inter and intra-governmental relations. That is most important, both laterally and horizontally. We should think about it as we get to some of the points we might be raising with respect to Fintri's tenure. Conflict resolution and peace building. That should be a hallmark of politics. As you shout, as you talk, at the back of your mind, you should do it for the first two and the most. You know, for stability, for peace and security, for economic development. Infrastructure and urbanization. Why do we take urbanization as different? Perhaps by definition, all local government headquarters are urban. And I don't know who will fault making those centers habitable, easily accessible within and between. Something so close to my heart is environmental sustainability. All that we do or intend to do, we must make sure that we do it without compromising the future of the generations yet unborn. So the essence is to have this balance. To try and balance these diverse priorities, we must have very effective governance, strategic planning, and responsive leadership, without which we cannot drive development, without which the well-being of the population might be compromised. This is the essence of politics, and these are the key takeaways that we need to imbibe. Yes, we better bring all this together at a go. Stability, prosperity, inclusiveness. You see, when you build a bridge on any river, on any brook, that is a project. But when you are building that bridge in order to connect two communities, that is an aim and a drive, and that is why it is development. The 8-point agenda, which is an offshoot of the 11-point agenda, is streamlined. And indeed, when we were doing this, nobody ever imagined that we could have also given 8 imperatives as the quintessence of politics. We have seen all these, all of them, pictorially through the documentary. How are these related to the quintessence of politics? And I add a rider there. You have seen them. Which of them will you deny? Is there any? We don't need to go through them one after the other. But security. This is the only time you don't see him smiling when he talks about security. He engaged the federal agencies. They are the ones that are mainly in charge of security, even if he is the chief, the officer, chief security officer of the state. And please, all other agencies should excuse me because these are representative of both the hard and the soft security aspect of it. The documentary has made so well, giving examples of tackling both in the bush and in town, the Sheila, and all those rustlers, smugglers, and kidnappers. Yes, it is God Almighty that will that we will be at peace and enjoy relative peace now. But a lot of hard work has gone into it, and we shouldn't compromise it, nor should we take it for granted. It is definitely not easy. Yes, examples continue, one at a time. Education. This is one area that is non-discriminatory. If they pay school fees, if they pay for WAEC, for NECO, if they feed the pupils in school, that is, if you don't have a child, the governor should not be blamed. And if you are counting your blessings during his tenure, if you forgot that your child is in school and enjoying all this, then it's most unfortunate. So many schools have been renovated, put into use, and at least the children are happy. If my pointer would have behaved, I would have expanded this so that we see the kind of things they are saying. And then we are taking it to a greater height, at least in this state. These are the foundation laying ceremony and flag of model schools in all local government areas of Adamawa State. You begin to wonder, where are the monies coming from? Yeah, we have seen what they said about internally generated revenue. Accountability and focused spending is what is responsible. Education and human capital. Again, this is a cross-media issue. If you talk about sports, if you talk about human resource, if you talk about health, if you talk about empowerment, everything is encapsulated in sports. And at least whatever he has declared that he will do, we have seen him do it. So we have no doubt that this Chelsea man is going to be very much interested in what happens. Maybe by the time he pulls off the gown, Chelsea may go up to the fourth or third position, I don't know. But I don't want to start that debate. I know some people that are always looking for the next season. Did you hear that? Yes, we have to move on because we have watched everything about the lecture. You see, this is not a visit to a company in Germany or anywhere else. Seeing is believing. If you don't want to believe this Banquet man, then you can't believe anything. Strategically, cottage hospitals have been strategically placed to arrest mass drift into Yola. Some of them have been arrested at Gire Cottage Hospital. Some in Dumne, they are not even allowed to come out of their cocoon. And I believe his royal father in Shelleng is contented with what is happening there, with respect to both roads and health. So, what is it that we are asking for in politics? And what is the essence of politics, if not to give health and well-being of our people priority number one? Why are these my people? My pointer is not working well. Distance. Urban renewal. Yes, this is the major signature of this government. And indeed, for visionary people, For people that are working for the next 50 years and ahead, this is what we should be doing. Opening up our rural areas and then making mobility within the conglomeration of the emerging urban centers very decent. I remember one Facebook comment when this place was a mere very big crater. Somebody said the monumental historic roundabout have been destroyed. Somebody commented in Hausa, "Wai me suke so yin nan ne?" A very hilarious answer. One guy said, "Baka san margi bane, kiwon kifi za a yi." Very interesting. So that kiwon kifi has translated into this. But yet, we must also get to Borong. We must go to Banquet at all times. So the rural areas have been opened up. If you are in doubt, continue to criticize. But we'll advise you to be very cautious about it. Because very soon, and we will stop some of these things that are going on. And we must stop them forcefully. So this is what we have seen in the documentary. I understand it is in today's Daily Trust. Isn't this beautiful? And many more are coming up. And I believe by the time this epitome of politics is through with his job, I'm only pitying those who are just willing to take over. If you are thinking of adding the fire service roundabout, I will not mention all, because I will frustrate some people, and I don't want people frustrated. So, agriculture and food security. You see, security has multidimensional perspectives. There is health security, to prevent infectious diseases, have easy access to Medicare and all that. It's about health security. But food security is the most important. And this government knows exactly how to go about it. And comprehensively too, because it takes the whole gamut of the agri sector. And very uninformed critics will tell you that we have taken a loan of 100 billion. We'll just be laughing at them. Because by association, the fact that a professor and my sister is a deputy governor, even when I don't come to a government house for a month or two, I know what is happening. We have a telepathic way of communicating, and we know what government is doing and where government is heading to. And let's take this agriculture thing very seriously, intellectually and practically, because we like it or not, this thing is very real. Climate smart agriculture. We have all complained of the heat in Yola. So many people have died. Personally, I have attended not less than 20 funeral prayers in recent times. And the graveyard keeper reported over 600 bodies within a short span of. It's part of it. Environmental degradation, climate change, and all associated. So there is a multidimensional and multi-pronged approach to agriculture that this government is taking to higher levels. Not because this partnership is with the Modibo Adama University, far from it. It is something that is global in nature. Social welfare. We know what Paweka is doing and will continue to do. And just continue asking, where are the monies coming from? But we continue telling you, the monies are being judiciously applied at all times. Networking is most important. Then akache so duk so ne. Ama so ngida ya fiko? Okay. If you think, this is not me, This is about regional integration. is about understanding the dynamics of collective action. A number of issues do not respect political boundaries, and we are talking about climate change, mobility, security, health. These are issues that are cross-border issues, and the governors of Northeast are networking and working hard to ensure that what is being done with respect to containing certain diseases in one state are also being done in another, so that there will be no spillover effect. Networking continues at the national level and internationally too. You are not informed? Continue. And Adama is progressing, and it will continue to work and work fine in the interest of everybody. What is happening? This guy is there. Yes. The writing may be too tiny, but the one on the left is Adamawa State in 2007. The other one is in 2024. In fact, the little vegetation you are seeing to the top center is because of abandonment of certain lands on account of insecurity. And that is why it is regenerating, or it regenerated a little. With attainment of peace and with this rainy season, be sure that a number of the greens there will go off. Just in 2007, look at Tombo side, through Jada, Ganye, site of Fufore, up to. This vegetation is no longer there. The other brown areas are completely bare. Regular people taking flight to Abuja, you know exactly what I mean. And indeed, we know that of recent, the governor went on a very hard drive to get issues related to climate change, environmental degradation addressed. And we have seen what is happening in the documentary with respect to promoting vegetation regrowth and all that. We really have to work hard. And perhaps when we come to some of the key issues, engage fundamentally some of our royal fathers. Yes, ethical issues. The hallmark of governance and politics is about justice and fairness. Who are those people controlling this thing? Yes, it's okay. Justice and fairness. How is it understood? We have seen the conglomeration, what Adama is made up of. For instance, if you call Ganye, what really comes to your mind? Is it the clement climate there? Lower temperatures than any other part of Adama? Or if I just simply say Ganye, you think of Gangwari? If I say Numan, don't think about conflict crisis. Think about water. Think about the savannah. Just like in the olden days, when you say Ganye, they will tell you sugarcane or doya. So, justice and fairness in the distribution of resources, including political appointments. In Adamawa State, of close to 100 ethnic groups, we shouldn't overblow issues of representation. And we'll look at political stereotyping and all that. Consultation and participation. It doesn't have to be with everybody. And there are very good critics that will never consult because they have been given it for free from a different part of the spectrum. We know how to digest it. We know how to filter it. But it is still very important. And it is still a form of consultation. And feedback, of course. And then compassion and empathy. This is very important. We may not know what goes behind the scene, but this is one government that takes this to its greatest heights. You see, in a multi-ethnic setting, ethics play a significant role in governance. And therefore, practices must be inclusive, respectful of diversities, and align with the principles of justice. That does not mean it rests with the governor. We have talked about the number of people we have in the State Assembly. Sometimes they claim to be the closest to the grassroots. We have them at the National Assembly, but we have also highlighted their challenge and difficulties. Somebody who is manning just 2 local governments, another person is having 4. Now, justice and equity demands that they are viewed differently. If you ask somebody to move from Ganglamja perhaps to Tuli or somewhere in Lego Koma area, it's not easy. And we must contextualize whatever it is that we are doing with respect to what we have seen about the evidential reality of our landmass, multiplicity of our people, the culture, the diversity. If you are to take 10 Muslims and give them 10 different positions, you will have differences, sorry to say, even between Izala. They will say this one is from Jos, this one is from Kaduna. They will tell you Al-Nada has not been represented, and there will be fight. So you see, there is a limit. And I want to propose something about that. There is a limit to how much representation in the name of justice and fairness can go. But above all, we must have tolerance and respect. If we are a little patient, we will understand the context, we will appreciate the dynamics, and then we will know the platform under which we should be talking. On the fringes of all this, yes, the challenges to leadership and governance are normally, and especially in our climate, accentuated by the exploitation of ethnic and religious diversity, values and politics of identity. These are normally anchored on, 1, we need social cohesion. Managing and fostering social cohesion among different ethnic groups is absolutely necessary. And it is not the role of the governor to play certain roles at the local level. Because from the ward, if you move to the local government, there are leadership, there is a councillor, there's a local government chairman. We'll come to those areas and we must be bold about them so that we don't overburden the center as we are talking about dissolution of powers from the central government to the states and local governments. We need to think very boldly about these issues. Allocation of resource and representation, infrastructure, social services, whether for health, for education, electricity, and all whatnot. These are things that must be gradual, and decision-making processes must be all-inclusive. The more it is, the more people will come to terms with the realities on ground. Security and conflict resolution. The controller of this thing must, yes. People exploit fault lines unnecessarily. The differences are over-amplified, and all areas of unity are being torn asunder in the name of politics. And indeed, that is from the negative side of the prison. We shouldn't. Education and awareness is very important. How much of it are we doing? In the face of media and communication, especially as we have it today, just at the click of a button, we destroy so many things. You destroy long-standing relationship. You put one community against the other. We must strive to be responsible and responsive, even if, no matter how you are against the government of the day, the majority within the confines of this state are much more than individual interest, and commitments. So, challenges arising from all this must be addressed, and addressed in a way that will give us the latitude to remain as one united entity. Improve local government governance, and to do that, we must raise the bar. This state is full of retired permanent secretaries, directors, technocrats from all over, and you feel local government should remain local and be in the hands of people of less competence and of less commitment to delivery. We are just deceiving ourselves. We must raise up to the challenges of the moment and make sure that local governance is improved, and it must improve on the basis of capacity and competence, and no other way. We must raise awareness and build capacity. So many people are ignorant of things that are going around. In political participation, there might be need to build the capacity of so many of our actors that we anchor on the rudimentary canons of politics and political coexistence. Otherwise, we might not get it where we want. We must ensure equity, fairness, and rule of law, vertically and horizontally. If we do that, perhaps we might nip some of the false imaginations, and then encourage partnership and collaboration. There is what is called joint account. Sometimes it is misunderstood to mean state government annexing the resources of local governments, forgetting you have so many things in common. The Basic Education Board coordinates and manages, the state does not have teachers at the primary school level, or basic level, so to say. They all belong to the local governments. So also the primary health care, the traditional institutions, the training, little form of training that goes on. But we can stop all that if we are able to do number one, improve local governance. The local governments have different trajectory. They have different history. But except for what has been done in the last few years, they are all looking like, local governments that have been run over by insurgents or destructions. Now they are having resemblance of being local governments. Now people may decide to remain with good roads, with electricity, with water. What do you come to Yola for? But to do that, let us raise the bar and get serious-minded people to man those tiers of government. We are not denigrating those that are doing it now, but the call for the stoppage of joint account, the call for must be anchored on capacity building at the local level. Don't worry, we are coming to an end. I am thanking you most sincerely, but if you don't understand me, this could be the reason. Thank you very much.
I am sure we can do better for the erudite Professor Abdullahi Liman Tukur, a teacher, a mentor, a role model, a man who has been there, seen that, done that, and more. For this thought-provoking, this very incisive, very educative lecture that I'm sure will form a talking point as we move on and as we go forward. The issues do not stop here and do not stop right now. They have only raised more talking points that we will continue to talk about, and until we see the desired and necessary changes. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please once more, let's put our hands together and appreciate Professor Abdullahi Liman Tukur. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you indeed. once again welcome you to the anniversary lecture, the anniversary public lecture in honor of the government of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, and this is the 5th anniversary of this government. We thank all of you for coming. Again, I would like to honor their Royal Highnesses and Royal Majesties who are all here to honor today's event. His Royal Majesty Homon Alhamdu Gladson Teneke the Hamabata is with us. Please put your hands together for him once again. His Royal Highness Alaji Adamu Umaru Sanda the Gangwarin Ganye is also here with us. His Royal Highness Dr. Abdullah Isa Dasang, the Amnashalang, please put your hands together for them. His Royal Highness Dr. Kroye Dishon Ansanda, the Kondi Nungrea, so we honor you. And of course, His Royal Majesty Baltam Airpo Mbuiman II, the Murumbula, please put your hands together for him. And not forgetting His Royal Majesty Homon Dr. Daniel Shaga Ismaila, OON. Please put your hands together for all of our royal fathers that are here. Let me honor Hajia Fatima Betara, the Hajia Fatima Betara Aliu, the manager, the airport manager, Lamido Aliu Mustafa International Airport, Yola, who is also here with us. I thank you so very much indeed. Now, before Her Excellency comes to speak to us today, and after a lecture of this nature that has been presented, there are people we thought are eminently qualified to also say a word or two in this anniversary public lecture before we invite Her Excellency to speak. A man who has been there in the last 5 years, and he is today, he was the former Chief of Staff to His Excellency the Governor. Today he is a Chairman, Governing Council, Chairman of Council, and Pro-Chancellor, Adamawa State University. Ladies and gentlemen, please to come speak to us in just a few minutes. Put your hands for Professor Maxwell Gidado, SANOON, Damasanin Ganye. Please put your hands together for him as he comes.
Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished fellow Adamawa citizens, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great joy that I've been chosen to come and amongst those to make this post-lecture from our August lecturer. And all I need to say is to encapsulate whatever that has happened here in a few Latin maxims, meaning res ipto loquito. Res ipto loquito. Whatever was it that we saw and we heard from the lecturer, we saw it by ourselves. We've seen it and we heard it. The Fintiri administration is unprecedented. Having been part of the government for the past 5 years, it didn't come to me as a surprise. Rather, it was a rehearse of what His Excellency had in mind, and we have seen it replicated on ground. But if, as an observer and from an insight, if I would give a summary and also pick in particular where I know His Excellency has made a very big mark, is in education. We may not see it now, but I am assuring you that in the next 5 to 10 years, you would see the fruits of what His Excellency has planted as far as education is concerned. Because there is nothing you can give a nation other than education. Once you teach these children, you train them and you put them on the right track, then, I mean, is it the maintenance of the infrastructure that won't take place? Definitely. Is it the agriculture that you have already put on ground too that should be encouraged to be extended? Whatever facet, you will make sure that we are training leaders of tomorrow who will come and take over, and if not do better than what this generation has done. So I take pride in saying kudos to His Excellency, Right Honorable Amadou Fintri, for taking Adamawa to this height. We are proud. When you drive into the state capital, you can walk with your shoulder high that this is a state that you welcome your friends from outside to come and see what your state governor has done. And hence, I will use this opportunity to wish him well and to wish him God's continuous wisdom to be able to pilot this state to the end of his tenure, and at the end, hand over to an able one again that can continue. Because if you look at what is happening in Akwa Ibom State, is leadership by example, and also when you see subsequent leaders coming to also replicate the plans that the governors have set up, there will be no stopping. It will be commissioning after commissioning. And if it is the education, you see the schools still going on without any being left behind. So I wish Adamawa State citizens, I congratulate you on this 5th anniversary of His Excellency, and I wish us well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Learned Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Res ipto loquito, for those who probably will not know, simply states that the facts speaks for themselves. The facts speaks for themselves, and through the documentary, that is what Prof was saying. And now again, another man who had been there through the period, who had been there, who had seen it all, who had been part of the team that brought about this great and grand transformation of Adamawa State. Ladies and gentlemen, the immediate past secretary to the state government, Malam Bashiru Ahmad. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, the guest lecturer, Mr. Chairman, Royal Fathers, permit me to stand on the already elaborate established protocol. Leader, you're putting me in a very difficult position to speak after 2 professors and also facing another one as a deputy governor. But I stand here to really express my joy for having been a pupil and, as the guest lecturer mentioned, a quintessential politician who is the governor of this state for the past 5 years, in the person of His Excellency Amadou Umaru Fintiri. For those of us who have been in it, working with this gentleman is tough. Because if you are to succeed, you have to move at his pace. And his pace, no matter how fast you move, is always very fast. So one is not surprised to to see all the successes reeled out either through the documentary, and I must thank the Chief of Staff for leading the team that produced it, because it's all encompassing, very comprehensive. It talks the story of the last 5 years. And I must say, with what we have seen and heard, that just as the guest speaker again have mentioned, anybody taking over after Ahmad Umar Fintiri, I pity him. And I mean this in all ramifications, because the resources are scarce and the demands are enormous. For anybody to be able to catch up, I think I would urge His Excellency that before he leaves the saddle, let there be a working document that anybody or all those coming after him can actually walk through. And that document should be all-encompassing. We should be able to have a forum where we'll bring all our good heads to sit together and bring out a strategic development plan that we all agree on as a roadmap to developing this state for the next, if you like, 20, 30 years, so that successive governments can actually walk through, because it is a document that has already been agreed by all our politicians, elites, traditional rulers, and even the general public. With this, I congratulate His Excellency and his team for driving this state in the right trajectory. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Malam Bashiru Ahmad, immediate past secretary to the state government of Adamawa State, a true son, a good one for that matter, of Adamawa State. And now it is with profound honor and tremendous respect that I welcome His Royal Majesty, Homon Dr. Daniel Shaga Ismaila of CON, the Hamapachama, to also come on behalf of the Royal Fathers and bring a few remarks in this event. Your Royal Majesty. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellencies, here present, distinguished guests, royal fathers, and the media. I was just telling the MC that in things like this, they should hint people. They shouldn't take people by surprise. I heard when Bashir complained that 2 professors spoke before him. So he was already scared of standing on this place to speak because he cannot meet up to what they said. And maybe because he was not prepared to say anything. But this is a special day, and we're gathered here, like I said yesterday, for a good purpose. A good purpose is to celebrate something that is good. It's to celebrate and to put in the minds of people that all these things that are being done, they are not being done by accident. They are being done by plans and by programs. My experience, or our experience as traditional rulers with Fintiri, is quite interesting. Because one important thing with the governor is that he has a listening ear. Another important thing with the governor is that no matter how much you provoke him, he will not react.
He will not react to anything that you provoke him to. Instead, after some time, he will call you after both of you have stabilized, then you will discuss whatever you want to discuss. You would never see a place where Fintri reacted to anything that was done that was not done properly. He doesn't react to that. And like the Professor Tukur said, it is not easy to run a state like Adamawa with all its complexities and still have people clapping for you. It's difficult. He spoke about Adamawa South, where Senator Binos represents. And I've always told Binos, I said, Bayelsa State has only 8 local governments. You as senator, you have 9. And even the whole of the 9 is just one zone in one state. It means we have 3 states in Adamawa State already. I want to specifically thank former governors of this state, those that are here and those that are not here, who laid the foundation upon which the governor is working now. There is no governor that has come and gone without doing something significant. So when we remember or when we celebrate what is happening in the state, it is very important that we remember them as the leaders of the state and as the people who have laid the foundation on which we are building. I'm very proud to come from Adamawa State because of what I've seen over time, not necessarily in the past 5 years, but right from time. And I have good hope that this state is going to remain a model state because of the works, the relationships that the governor is establishing, the bridges that he's building across places. The other time I was speaking, I said, if a governor is in PDP and the president is in APC and he gives him the best infrastructure governor, what does it mean? It means even your enemy knows what is good and he will say it. Is it not so? The president gave him award for best infrastructure and gave him national honor and was looking for something else to give him before it was time for him to leave. So we are all proud of the governor. We are all praying for the governor. Just we are praying for the state and we are praying for every sector in this state. And we know that God will help us. Those things that Professor Tukur has listed, they are very crucial. They may look academic, but we need the academic to be able to bring practical things in life. Everything that has been identified as an obstacle in Adamawa State, it means it is possible to work on it if you have identified it. Now, it is academics that will identify these things. Ordinarily, as politicians, we will just continue doing politics and fighting up and down. But if these things are clearly identified and there is an opportunity to sit and to look at all these things, those things that we see as impediments in our life, they will no longer be there. So I congratulate all of us, and I pray that another year will come and we will celebrate the governor again. I congratulate the governor, and I wish him very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty, Homo Dr. Daniel Shagai Ismaila CON, the Hamab Achama, for those very powerful and encouraging words. And now, Your Excellencies, distinguished personalities, ladies and gentlemen, let me now invite to the microphone the former governor, His Excellency Barrister Bala James Guillory, as he brings his goodwill. Please put your hands together for His Excellency, the former governor of Adamawa State. Thank you very much, sir.
Your Excellency, our amiable Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, Your Royal Highnesses, Mr. Speaker, Guest Speaker, Chairman of this occasion, kindly permit me to stand on the abridged protocol. I would have protested like His Royal Highness Hamabachama had done, because I was here to listen and not to say a word. But I've been forced, so I must think of what to say. Primarily, I take you and agree with all that has been said about the excellent works of our governor, my junior brother, Ahmad Omar Fintiri. People will wonder why I, being a member of the opposition, would be here. I've always said this: once an election, a cycle of election comes and goes, people must face governance. You can wait for another cycle to test your popularity and try to aim to get what you want. But after elections, I'll continue to agitate that Adamawa belongs to all parties. God has given a leader. For now, you like it, you don't like it, Fintiri is God's choice. We will do ourselves so good if we support him by giving him honest advice, by praying for him. That is the roadmap to stabilizing politics in Adamawa State and to the future of our dear state. Having said that, I would say that, as very well articulated by the guest speaker, if you look at section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution, governments are established to secure and promote the welfare of citizens. That's why governments exist. That's the reason d'etat for the establishment of any government, federal or state level. And I dare say, if you take these two aspects of security and welfare of the people, you can break welfare into education, agriculture, health, and all that. You must give this young brother of mine a part of the bar. He has done well. And like Professor Jerry Ghana will do, continue to do well. That is my take. But I am troubled with what the guest speaker showed us here about the environment. Human beings have distorted the earth that God created in perfect unison. Today, the ozone layer is completely depleted. In the next 2 decades, Nigeria will hit 430 million people. The land we have is not expanding. It is degrading. For the first time this year, I'm told that here in Yola, we have hit 48 degrees Celsius. Where do you think we are heading to? Right now, I think we are on the fringes of hell because of the heat here. And the only way to reverse this thing is to do one and only one thing: to stem the tide of environmental degradation and do what the governor has set out to do in terms of securing our environment, planting the needed trees so that the hydrogeological and geohydrological ecobalance will still come back. On this note, I thank you all. But in rounding up, I say, even though I belong to APC, I've continued to tell the governor, cross over to Macedonia where I belong. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Former Deputy Governor, former Governor, former member of the Federal House of Representatives, former member of the prestigious Oputa Panel Truth Commission. We're so honored to have you. We're so grateful. One of the outstanding, remarkable achievements of His Excellency Barrister Bala James Guillory, and we must mention, was his ability at the time he served to roll back the encroaching invasion of the Boko Haram menace. When he stopped and rolled them back at that time, Your Excellency, we continue to pay glowing tributes and honor to you on that. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, and now I'd like to invite someone we all are pleased and happy to always have. She was former executive chairman of the Adamawa State Universal Basic Education, where she served meritoriously, became Honorable Commissioner of Education, and rose to become the Vice Chancellor of the Adamawa State University, a teacher of teachers, a mother par excellence, an accomplished academic, a professor of repute. Ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, the #2 citizen of Adamawa State, Professor Kaletapwa G. Farauta. Please put your hands together for her.
Thank you, sirs. Please take your seats. Thank you very much. The Speaker, House of Assembly, and your colleagues, our former governor, our elder brother, Barrister James Guillory, the Senator, our royal fathers, the guest speaker for today, my elder brother, our father, Baba Haldu, all our stakeholders. Please permit me to stand on the well and elaborate established protocol. You know, like my elder brother said, in the classroom we don't do protocols. So a lot of times as teachers, we're very poor at protocols. Please pardon me for that. I stand in on behalf of our principal, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, Right Honorable Ahmadu Umar Fintri, whom for reasons we know that today he has to be in Abuja for the burial of our own brother. And that loss is not just to the nation, but the loss is also particular to Adamawa State because he's an illustrious son of Adamawa State. And this is his speech, so when I say I mean Ahmadu Umar Fintri. Thank you and God bless you. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this significant lecture on the quintessence of politics, organized to mark the first anniversary of my second term in office. Your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to the advancement of political discourse and governance in our beloved state. As we gather to reflect on the fundamental principles that underpin our political system, we are reminded of the profound impact that thoughtful, ethical, and effective politics can have on the lives of our citizens. Politics at its core is not merely about the wielding of power, but about the pursuit of the common good, the promotion of justice, and the creation of opportunities for all. During this past year, we have strived to uphold these values, ensuring that our policies and initiatives reflect the aspirations and needs of our people. From improving healthcare and education to fostering economic growth and ensuring security, our efforts have been guided by the belief that good governance is a collaborative endeavor rooted in transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. Today's lecture provides us with an opportunity to delve deeper into the essence of politics, exploring its theoretical foundations and practical applications. It is a chance to engage with new ideas, challenge our assumptions, and reaffirm our commitment to serving the people with integrity and dedication. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker, whose insights and expertise will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and inspire us to continue striving for excellence in our political endeavors as we go home with this food for thought. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you for your participation. Let us make the most of this occasion to learn, reflect, and renew our shared commitment to the betterment of Adamawa State. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you so very much indeed. Excellencies, Royal Highnesses, Mr. Speaker, distinguished invited guests, you may be seated, please. We will now, as we get ready to bring this meeting to a close, this anniversary public lecture to a close, let me again invite the man who brought the team that put all this together, the Chief of Staff to His Excellency, the Executive Governor. Please put your hands together for Dr. Edgar Amos Sunday as he brings the vote of thanks.
Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished invited guests, on behalf of the government and the Governor of Adamawa State, I once again stand to say thank you very much for your role, diverse roles, in making this anniversary lecture a success. We've been offered food for thought. I believe we've digested. I hope we will assimilate and get the energy that comes from the lecture. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
And thank you very much, the Chief of Staff. Let me, on behalf of the government and people of Adamawa State, again remind us that there will be dinner. Okay, sir. There will be dinner in this very hall later this evening, the anniversary dinner, and dinner starts at 7 o'clock. His Excellency will be joining us. We are expected to be seated at 6:30. Dinner starts at 7 o'clock. Some of these events are covered live on television, and timing is key because of the coverage. So we start the dinner, and again, do not forget tomorrow, the commissioning of the flyover and great interchange will be carried out. And so I thank you very much. Immediately after the national anthem, the Chief of Staff has asked that Her Excellency will have a few photographs on the balcony, on the stage of the platform before we take our leave. May I now humbly ask Your Excellency, Royal Highnesses, that we rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We will now have the photograph, and this brings our program to a close. We have come to the end of the anniversary public lecture organized by the Adamawa State Government. Thank you very much. Please hold on. Immediately after this photograph, I'll invite their Royal Highnesses. That will be the last photograph, the second and last photograph. Their Royal Highnesses will join their Excellencies. Please hold it just a minute. Okay. Thank you. Please hold it. Please give chance. Please give chance. Let's have their Royal Highnesses. Excuse me, please. May we have the royal fathers join, please.
Well, that has been the live coverage of Adamawa State Television Corporation Yola at the Banquet Hall Government House here in Yola for the anniversary public lecture as part of activities lined up to celebrate Governor Ahmadu Fintri 5 years in office. You have all heard it. You have all seen the documentary. So there is no gainsay that the governor has not done well. He has transformed Adamawa State to an enviable position. On behalf of the General Manager of Adamawa State Television Corporation Yola, who are marshalling in the live transmission, headed by Engineer Boniface Malis, I remain Simon Gawaja saying bye-bye till we meet next time.
shi yasa kaga kana ganin dina